I'm Jordanae Smith, and this is Talk Back for Teen Youth News.
And I'm Tianna Manon, your co-host for tonight. To get right into it, I was reading Fox News today, and they were talking about a study that just recently had its conclusion about if teens are friends with teens who don't smoke marijuana, they are more likely to give it up. So I guess out of 458 students that were included in surveys, about 20% gave up after a year. But the issue that I had with the study is that these surveys, like the information they were using, is from 1995 and 1996. So even though the study just concluded, the surveys are from when I was 2 years old. And as we all know, marijuana, people are a lot more accepting of weed, marijuana, and we just had, 2 states legalize it. So in the article they said, the guy who ran the study said, the findings are still applicable, but I don't know, I wonder if that number will be a lot lower if students, don't feel the need to fit in with their friends. Like, you can smoke weed and your friends are a little bit more okay with it than they would have been 15, 18 years ago.
I definitely think times have changed, and you know what? It's almost a social thing now.
Yeah.
So, even if you don't smoke weed or go buy from the neighborhood seller, even if you don't do that per se personally, but if you're around friends who are doing it, it's just some people just have
you're kind of like, what, my friend smokes weed and that's okay. It's not like, it's totally different than being friends with someone who smokes meth or crack, and you're that drug doesn't have the same stigma that it used to have. So
I actually know someone who they say they only smoke on holidays. So only the 4th of July, maybe Christmas, New Year's Eve definitely, but nothing too much.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested. I hope that they kind of take another look at the study. It's also interesting, Fox News was the only source to report on that. I was kind of looking around at other places, and I love Fox News. I actually do. I think, sometimes if you remove, the voice of it, they can be very factual. So I'm very glad that they put in that information that, hey guys, this information is from 15, 16. And I think that says a lot about their journalism, that they thought to include that and did kind of that research on the study itself.
Looked into it.
Because a lot of news articles kind of just put the study out there, hey guys, this is the study, this is what you need to know, and they don't really investigate the study itself. So I was very happy about that.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't go as far to say it's irrelevant, but they definitely need to update it more because it's so much more definitely culturally accepted and more common.
I know studies usually take a very long time to happen, but I feel like 18 years.
A lot.
18 years is very different. I was also reading on the New York Times, I read this a few days ago, that colleges are having a hard time filling their freshman class. So you know how you have that deadline to apply and everything. Well, after that deadline is up and they see that they don't have enough people to fill those classes, they actually open it back up. And they reach out to students and they're saying, hey, we still have openings, or, they increase the aid that they were going to give to prospective students to kind of say, you should come here. And obviously that doesn't pertain to schools like Harvard, Yale, but those smaller colleges, they're having that issue. And they were saying it's usually because of, the economy is kind of righting itself, that students who went to college to kind of postpone a horrible, job market, now they don't feel the need to do that. They feel a little bit more ready to just throw themselves out there, and they're not postponing it with college. So, and it's colleges from Maine to California to Florida, it's all over experiencing this issue. So it's really interesting.
That is absolutely unheard of. That's the first time I've heard anything. Having a hard time to fill college, freshman classes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
They just don't feel the need to. And people have been talking about this for years. Is a degree worth it anymore? And a lot of students are saying it's not worth the $100,000 in loans when I can just go right out into a better job market and start my life now.
Where's the love for knowledge, people? Don't you I don't know if I would ever prolong. I enjoy not necessarily prolonging my time out into the work field, but just kind of honing my craft.
Yeah.
We just don't know everything, and to go out into a work field unexperienced is just not always the best idea. But I guess you learn to sink or swim.
And also, of course, we have to talk about Trayvon Martin.
Yes.
But getting away from the actual case, there has been a group of students. They call themselves the Dream Defenders in Florida.
Wow.
And every single day since the verdict on July 16th, they've been sitting outside of Governor Rick Scott's office demanding a meeting with him to talk about what they believe. I mean, I know they said they stopped Thursday. They're not sitting out there now, but it doesn't mean that they're done. They said, according to Miami Herald, that they just have another step in the works. So I know they got in with some senators, with some state representatives, and actually had, people talking about, the Stand Your Ground law. So, I mean, it kind of sucks that they didn't get in with Governor Scott, but you definitely have to praise the fact that they've been there more than a month.
That's determined.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm glad to see that they're not giving up. But.
And they have an issue and they're ready to present it,
Especially because everyone always says students don't stand up for anything anymore.
Or don't even
Vietnam was the peak of the student rebellion. So I'm just happy to see that. And I think though that goes hand in hand with the fact that with this horrible job market, students are so scared that anything will come up, in their background checks, that they don't want to protest anything because that may, a political affiliation may turn off a future employer. And colleges are actually kind of limiting that free speech. Like in some colleges, you have to ask permission to hold a protest, which is kind of, and they have like these free speech zones. So if you want to practice your free speech, you must stand behind, the dining hall.
And the idea of the protest is to go against,
Yeah, but you have to ask permission to go against.
We're going to keep you in this area. So.
And then imagine if you're told no.
I can't protest. You don't want me
can't protest
on your campus.
So now you have to protest the fact that you couldn't protest.
It's no end. I have a quick snippet story for you guys. So what are you going to watch in October? I'll tell you what you're going to watch in October. MTV is doing a story on TLC. It's called Cool, Crazy, Sexy, Cool, the TLC story. So look for that. We have Keke Palmer, Juiceador, Little Mama. Little Mama, of course, is playing Left Eye. Keke Palmer is playing Chili, and
she looks amazing.
Yeah,
as Chili.
I think Left Eye and Little Mama look very, very similar. It's kind of scary. So definitely look it up and see. And Juiceador will be playing T-Boz. So look out for that this October. MTV, watch it.
Locally, this was a hard weekend for the Rochester community. We had 7 victims in 2 separate shootings. Yeah, it was very intense. The only death that actually happened was a 59-year-old man. However, the other 6 people were in their, low 20s. I think the oldest other guy was 24 years old. And, that's a demographic we really deal with. I'm 20 years old now, and to see that, there was a 16-year-old, there was a 19-year-old, there was a 20-year-old, those three happened on Jefferson Avenue about 2 hours earlier before the bar shooting. And then the other 3, the 59-year-old guy was, shot down on South Plymouth. That was the bar one. And that one was a 22-year-old man, a 21-year-old man, and a 24-year-old female. And so, I mean, I know nationally and even, locally, the crime rate, especially the murder homicide rate, has been going down. And just kind of to see all of these victims, even though only one was fatal in one weekend, is incredibly hard to see. And it kind of makes some people wonder if we are making progress, but we definitely are. The crime rate is definitely going down. And it's just these small flukes that kind of throw people on their backs. And it's horrible. Probably, the worst weekend for crime in Rochester this year.
And it sounds terrible, but this does not stop the progress that the Rochester force team, police officers, firefighters, whoever are concerned with our safety, this does not diminish what their efforts have been doing. But that is intense.
Yeah.
That is very intense. And it's kind of crazy how it's all in like the same area.
Mm-hmm. 4 on South Plymouth and 3 on Jefferson Avenue.
Oh, wow. And wow.
Yep.
Pretty terrible. All right, so if you did not hear about the California story about the California teen, Hannah Anderson was kidnapped by a family friend. It's not a normal kidnapping because she is believed to have had correspondence with her kidnapper, about 13 phone calls and text exchanges. Letters exchanged were found at the kidnapper's home. But get this, Mr. James DiMaggio, which is her kidnapper's name, was the best man at her parents' wedding. He not only killed her mother and her brother, he also killed the family dog. And he left her father for her, but she was just recently found. The kidnapping took place August 17th, and so many loopholes in the story, so much to explain, and so much that is not being told to the community. And so we're looking for more on that story. We'll probably have more follow-ups, but yeah.
That's an incredibly sad story. Wow.
It's intense, and he actually kidnapped her and took her to an Idaho getaway, somewhere in Idaho.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Tianna Manon.
I'm Jordanae Smith.
And this has been Talk Back for Teens Youth News. Make sure you check us out on talkbackforteens.com. Follow us on Twitter. All of those, our hashtag, our username, our Instagram, all of it involves the number 4, not FOR. And we are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on the web. We are wherever you are. So make sure you reach out to us as well. Thank you.
Shine my shoes, brother. Funny little squirrel, I need you. I don't think that I want to be you. I hate everybody. Get out of my kitchen, lay down in the forest, live with my affliction. And I cannot breathe when you're there. I can't see when you're smiling to me, and I try to smile back. Sun shining, keeping my hand warm, trying timing, boy you have been warned. I hate all the people, get out of my bedroom. These walls unforeseeable, aching to be near you. I cannot breathe when you're there.